so I'm going to talk about the ceramic station and some tips on how to set yourself up and go about getting started, okay? So first off, you're going to kind of see something similar to this. You will have the boards set up here. You want to use these boards for underneath your clay, okay? Protects the table. If you feel that it's going to be a little messy and you don't want to wash the table, you may use the mess mats, okay? So underneath the mess mats, you know, we have here, you put them down, put your board on top, because it kind of gets chalky, so you don't want to worry about making the table messy when you're getting packed up and ready to go. So here we have, you know, protect the table, and cleanups are kind of easy this way, right? So you all need a board, like this way. All right. Now, obviously with the clay unit, you're going to need clay, you're going to need tools, you're going to need a board, right? Now, in order to access some of these other tools, you're going to have it pretty much set up like this. What you want to do is you want to make sure that all your supplies are put away nicely, because it's really hard to figure out what's there if things are kind of just thrown all together. Most of them are different kind of tools that you can use to either gouge out or to, you know, do like small details, all right? These are great, by the way, for like scooping things up and off, okay? Now next to this is slip, right? Slip is watered down clay, basically. You're gonna need this, so please, if you can, I know it's, you know, when you're in a rush, but I'd like you to make sure that you really close it, because if not, what happens is, see what's happened to this one? This one's actually dried up, okay? And it takes a while to kind of hydrate again. So if you keep it closed, it kind of keeps it moist and wet, okay? All right, so we're gonna take that one away. Now you probably see water bottles here. Now the water bottles are for when your clay's a little dry, okay? Now it's kind of hard to work with clay when it's on the drier side, if you're still kind of like working with it. If you take it and just like mist it, don't drench it. You don't want to do that. You want it to be just lightly, you know, damp, all right? You can also kind of like squirt your hands and work with that too to work with the clay. This is not for spraying each other. If I find that you're doing it, you're not going to be using it, okay? So here's most of the tools that you'll need for your project. Other important things, right? For your clay, there is a spare clay bin, all right? Normally it's right here. This is good for if you have too much, you want to put back, okay? Or if you need just a little bit more, you can come grab from here. Right? On the bottom will be your project clay. So you'll actually be able to take a lump of clay and work with that, and that should be enough to actually create whatever it is that you're creating. Now, on the top, very important, this clay will ruin my sinks, okay? So what you want to do is you want to pre-wash. I know it sounds kind of weird, but you notice how I have clay dust all over my hands? There's no like actual chunks on it, but I'm gonna take it and I'm just gonna rinse off my hands, all right? Yeah, it might get a little gross, but honestly, I'd rather deal with grossness than clogged sinks. Okay, so, there. All right, so my hands are pretty much clean, okay? I could either dry this and be like, okay, well, I'm good. I don't need to wipe anymore, all right? But if you still feel like it's really gross, okay, you may use the sink afterwards. Now, when you're pre-washing, things to watch out for is underneath your nails, okay? If you got kind of long nails like I do right now, it gets caught in there. So you want to just make sure you get that out, all right? Okay, what do you need when you actually are setting up, all right? So you can use, as I said, a mess mat underneath. You need a board, you'll need your clay, and you need a couple tools as well for here. You may use, you know, like share with someone, slip, or if you're the only one at a table, honestly, I think there's a couple of them there that not everyone needs to share, all right? So this is pretty much enough supplies here that you can work with. You don't necessarily have to sit down. I actually tend to use, you know, like my arm strength a little bit more, so I actually will press down and stand up and mush my clay. When you first get your clay, what you might want to do is what's called kneading it, okay? What you do is you'll take it and you're kind of like slam it down, get the air bubbles out, mush it around, get used to it, all right? I wouldn't work with like a big chunk like this at one point. I kind of like working with smaller bits, so take that, work with this. When you do coils, all right, just a tip. You don't want anything thicker than your pinky, okay? It will take forever to dry. Yes, it might use up all your clay fast, but honestly, thin is good. And when we're doing this, you want to go back and forth, all right? Your hands, as you press, you don't want it to be like stuck like this, like go only like this. Open your hands and go back and forth, okay? Just like that. And as you notice, I'm standing up, so it makes it a little bit easier to kind of maneuver things, okay? So we have the tools, we have how we're gonna wash up, okay? We know that we have to pre-wash first, and then we go over here, where we can get our clay, where to get the board, okay? Where do we put it when in between? Okay, so I'm gonna come around and move things around, okay? So what you're gonna do is you're gonna look woo, over here are bins, okay? These bins are kind of neat. I designed them, pretty cool, okay? So what is going on here is there's a grate that obviously prevents them from all, shifting into each other, but there's a plastic sheet. In here is where you're going to store your projects. Now you want to make sure that your stuff kind of fit in here, okay? So you might want to come and test. And it's okay if you take your project and if it doesn't fit, you can always lay it down, which is absolutely fine. So all the clay that you're using, so the stuff that you got out of that bottom bin, you want to keep together, okay? Put it in here, you can scratch your name into it, your initials, or just put a little post-it and you can put it right next to your clay. So this is in between sessions. Now I wouldn't go more than maybe 2 days working on your project, okay? Because it's gonna start dry and it's gonna get going and cracking and you're gonna just have issues, okay? When it's done, okay, and it's drying, what I'd like you to do is just kind of put it somewhere. As I back up, hold on, there you go. Somewhere on the top. I know it's a mess. Oh my heavens, don't look. Ooh. All right, so somewhere on the top. It's a no-touch zone until it dries and we're ready to put a glaze on it. All right, so let's go back to here. All right, there we go, beautiful. Come back in. If there is any time that you have any questions, you're not sure what to do, okay? There's not enough clay. The clay is hard and you're not sure what to do with that, come and ask. And yes, you can stand up, you can definitely work on your clay that way, and that's pretty much it.